It was a pleasant surprise. I say surprise because the entire process was fraudulent. He went against all standard legal procedure. You entertain a charge without medical notes, you fabricate evidence, and this all was tolerated by the judge, which shocked many people. So people therefore would expect an acquittal, but divine intervention, I suppose, there was an acquittal. Alhamdulillah. The Wall Street Journal. What was the question was asked in terms of relations? They said, as a moderate, you have exchanges with the friends in the Arab world, the Muslim parties, and the West. Why are you so anti and blatantly anti-Israel? I say you should rephrase the question. Why is Israel continuing with their aggression and occupation and atrocities committed or perpetrated against Palestinians? Now, if this is stopped and you recognize the position and legitimate aspirations of the Palestinian, I have no problem about either recognizing Israel or protecting the security of Israel. I'm not here to be anti-Semitic or anti-Jews or anti-Israel for that matter. What our Malaysian government-controlled media has done is to delete any reference to Palestinian cause, but just made that statement, Anwar will consider to recognize Israel and its security. And they went on for weeks. Pronouncements are impressive, but the system is still, the laws are archaic, the system is still oppressive, there's no media access of freedom. I mean, look at it, look what's happening throughout the world, and you have a media completely dominated by the ruling party and establishment. Procurement policies and privatization given to family members, cronies, and these are actually disturbing. Malaysia fortunately has a much better starting point. I mean, a much better infrastructure compared to most of the developing economies. But we have lost out in the competitiveness precisely because of poor governance and corruption. I don't deny that it is a major challenge, but this coalition is not post-elections, it's pre-elections. And therefore, it is reasonable to expect people to demand that that the coalition must be guided by certain principles and policies, and not just politics of convenience and expediency. And so we then took months, in fact a year, to just formulate what is our policy on rule of law, economic policies, gender equality, freedom of conscience. It's not Islamic. Turkey is largely Muslim countries, democratic. Indonesia, I mean, culturally, linguistically is the same. They opted for democracy, and we still remain somewhat behind. The issue is basic freedom, like the issue of gender equality. Why make it so difficult? I mean, they are your sister, your daughter, or your wife, or your mother. I mean, but you see the whole discourse becomes so complex, as if it's going to be a major challenge. It is because of autocratic rule and corrupt rule. It's vested interest. I mean, you had democracy. I mean, the first fair elections, they will not survive. This issue of moderate Muslim, moderate Islam. I mean, Islam must be essentially moderate because it's ummatan wasata. But then, you cannot condone human rights abuses. You cannot have legislation that desecrate people's property or faith. I am an incorrigible optimist. I went through hell, and I think now is opportune time. I'm very encouraged by the support that I have. Our only concern is whether the elections will be fair and clean. Assuming the elections fair and clean, I think they would expect a change in Malaysia.